Am I the a-hole for tossing a Father's Day gift for my ex-child? I, 45 male, have a daughter, Cassie, 19 female, with my ex-wife, Mary, 47 female, who cheated and left me for another man. When she showed up to the divorce hearing fully pregnant, I knew that there was no going back. She gave birth to her daughter, Jane, 14 female, with plans to marry the father, but he died in an accident when Jane was just a few weeks old. Jane's paternal side was extremely religious and shamed that her father was an adulterer, so they wanted nothing to do with her or her mother, and even went as far as to deny any blood relation because Mary was a woman of ill repute. Mary doesn't have any brothers and no father, so Jane grew up without ever really having a father figure. It was never explicitly stated, but Mary was hoping that I'd be in Jane's life, but blocked at every turn. She doesn't get to betray and discard me and then try to come back when things didn't work out. I've remarried and have my own family, but since Jane is Cassie's sister, I still make the effort to be nice. I don't take Jane with me in family trips, but I let her come to the house when Cassie has special events there. I only started becoming more distant towards Jane when she tried calling me dad a few times and Mary wouldn't intervene. Once Mary got a boyfriend, I was relieved to be left alone and aggravated when things didn't work out between them because Jane started trying to start a father-daughter relationship with me again. This past Father's Day, my family surprised me with a special lunch, and Jane managed to slide her way in there. I would prefer she leave, but I didn't want to make another awkward situation for Cassie and didn't raise a fuzz. When it came time to cards and gifts, Jane gave me a present and quick speech about how great of a dad I've been and shown her what it means to be a good parent. It was a touching speech, but I wasn't particularly moved by it. Because I felt put on the spot, I accepted the gift and let Jane give me a hug. Then, when the day was over and everyone was gone, I tossed it in a Goodwill box we have in the basement. My wife thinks that I should keep it even if I don't like it, but I don't want to send a message that there's hope for Jane that I'll be the father she's always wanted. Am I the a-hole? Edited to add. Again, because I keep seeing this in the comments. 1. I've told Jane not to call me dad, or think that just because I do things with Cassie that I'll do them for her. 2. I've talked to Mary about this more than once, but she's of no help. 3. I don't blame Jane for what her mom did, but I don't understand why I need to be a father figure in her life to prove it. 4. I don't even want to be a paternal figure for her because that would require a certain amount of time and labor that I'd rather give to my own children. 5. Mary and I weren't intimate for months during Jane's conception and there was a DNA test. There's no chance that Jane is mine. 6. Yes, I've only ever talked to Jane about this once. How many times do I need to tell her to make it clear? 7. I didn't even like the gift that she got me. Now for the top comments. This might be one of the saddest AITA I've ever read. I completely understand where you are coming from, but honestly, I feel like without you, that kid is going to end up in a real tough spot in life. I'm not qualified in any way to say who's an a-hole in this story, except your ex-wife. From my perspective, I would always try to help out a fatherless kid. This is really tough. Good luck to all of you. Every bit of this points to not the a-hole, but she's a kid. She's not asking for money, she's just asking for someone to take an interest in her. I get you're in no way obligated to Jane, but is being a good, safe adult in her life such a horrific burden that is a hard no? It might be, I don't know. But it certainly seems like she could use someone to care a little. Not the a-hole. But please, as an adult who used to be in Jane's position, just ask her one more time to stop calling you dad and advise your biological daughter to hang out with her in places where you are not going to be present. As time goes on, stop inviting her to gatherings altogether. It might hurt her, but this is the safest way to let her go, without causing serious amounts of negativity. When she gets older, she will most likely understand the reasons behind your distant behavior. Good luck, Opie. Not the a-hole. You shouldn't have to play house/dad for someone who left you for someone else. While it is sad what happened to Jane's dad, that doesn't mean you have to step up. You have your own life and children, and have made it clear that the relationship with Jane is solely for your daughter's sake. You did good by accepting the gift and thanking her in the moment. You have no obligation to keep said gift after. Agreed. While I feel sorry for the girl, what else is a person to do? That's not his kid, and Opie's doing a lot to not upset her or his daughter, but there should be a strong boundary set. Not everything in life is fair, and set out for us, we have to deal with the cards that we're given. It's not fair, but life isn't fair. This should have been nipped in the bud when she was a child, but I'm guessing this is all on her mother. Shaking my damn head. Not an a-hole. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for kicking out someone out of my birthday party for bringing an unwanted gift? So here's the backstory. Me, 30 female, and my ex, 32 male, Tony, broke up 8 months ago. The reason for this breakup was that I was fairly certain he was cheating on me with one of his friends, Tammy. He denied it, but honestly, even if he wasn't actively cheating, he was not invested in the relationship anymore because it was obvious he had fallen for her. Lo and behold, after our breakup, I moved out, and he almost immediately got together with Tammy. Now, I'm trying to be the bigger person and move the hell on with my life, but for some reason, both of them won't really let me do that. Tammy sends me memes, invites me to things, and when I tell her no or ignore her messages, my ex decides it's his turn to tell me I'm being mean to Tammy for no reason. To be clear, I'm not asking if I'm the a-hole compared to Tony and Tammy, because I know I'm not. They're being absolutely ridiculous. My question is, this last weekend was my 30th birthday party, aka a get-together at a bar with some friends of mine. The grapevine does its magic, and somehow Tammy finds out it's happening and asks if she can come. No, you cannot. Cute Tony poo-pooing me. I finally work up the nerve to block them both on every social media platform I can. I told my guests, hey, if Tony and / or Tammy show up, I'm making them leave. My 5 or 6 friends know them both and know the situation I'm in here. So Tony and Tammy don't show up, but you know what does? A personalized gift from Tammy that a different friend decided to bring on her behalf. Nobody else brought a gift. We were meeting at a bar. This friend, let's say is Roger, brought the gift in a bag and told me to extend the olive branch. To which I said, no effing way. Threw the gift in a trash can and told him that he can go home. I was so angry that it took a couple of minutes for me to calm down, but he ended up leaving in a big huff. The rest of the night was as good as can be expected. But I'm still very upset with Roger for doing this when I think it's abundantly clear that I don't want any contact with my ex and his girlfriend. Am I actually an a-hole for not only rejecting the gift and kicking him out? Am I losing my damn mind to this problem? Not an a-hole. They need to leave you the hell alone. Who the hell does she think she is? And who the hell does Roger think he is? This just seems ridiculous. If someone doesn't want anything to do with you, why force it? Yeah, this is insane. What Roger did was extremely foolish, and Tammy and Tony in general seem horrible. I don't think anyone would go to such lengths, unless it's to intentionally piss OP off. Not an a-hole. Maybe you were a little bit harsh with Roger, but the whole situation with the ex and new girlfriend is really weird. I would think your other friends would know better than to get involved like that. If Roger knew about the situation, he should have refused to pass along the gift. On another note, it seems like Tony and Tammy know they are a-holes and are trying to force a friendship on you because they don't want everyone else to think poorly of them. Threaten to get a restraining order if they contact you again. Good luck. My feelings exactly. Roger is between a rock and a hard place, so maybe kicking him out was a bit harsh, but he 100% could have handled this better. Just off the top of my head, he could have given you the gift after the party, or better yet, on an entirely different day. He could have let you know in advance that they reached out and would like to send a gift with him, and ask if you'd be okay with that. It does seem like he was used by these people and couldn't stand up for himself, but he could have at least worked harder to find a loophole. This is a good point. I guess I didn't think about how Roger might have been pressured into going along with things. He's not a bad guy, but he can kind of get swept in the why can't we all get along thing. So I can see how it'd be easy to convince. Oh, we just want to mend fences with OP. Please give this to her so we can all be buddies. In hindsight, I'm definitely planning on talking to Roger and explaining why this hurts my feelings so much. Hopefully he understands. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom to stop treating my brother like a kid? I, 21 female, recently had a big fight with my mom. My brother, 17 male, has always been my mother's favorite, and no, I'm not just saying this, but she tells this to everyone around her. So since we were kids, he has been cuddled his whole life. He checks his computer, his phone, barges into his room without knocking, even tries to hand feed him at this age. Anyway, he is a teen, and now absolutely hates that he doesn't get his privacy/independence. Anyway, It's COVID and he had this date with a girl. In my place, COVID is handled good, so we can go to cafes if we follow the rules. My brother even told my mom about the date, and guess who followed him all the way? My mom. She sat in a booth nearby pretending to hide, and then my brother said he went to the bathroom and his date followed him. He said that he did it because he saw our mom there, and just wanted to kiss his date away from our mom's prying eyes. Anyway, they were therein for like 5 minutes when my mom barged in, physically separated them and yelled at the girl for ruining her baby, and that she was a bad influence. It got worse up to the point the girl called our family a bunch of creeps and left. My mom didn't stop. She was like, "Baby, did she hurt you? Are you okay?" And my brother, who never cried in public as a teen, called me crying to come pick him up because he was that embarrassed. I went and my mom wouldn't let him come with me because she said only she can calm her baby. That's when I told her he is calm and just freaking mad at her because she is treating her like he is 10, and that's embarrassing him. All this happened at the parking outside a cafe where my mom dragged my brother and his date out. And after I took my brother to my apartment, we talked and he doesn't even want to go back home because of many other incidents too. My mom is calling and texting saying I had no right to act like an a-hole and embarrass her in public. And even my dad says my way of handling the situation is completely wrong. I still refused to apologize, so does that make me an a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not an a-hole. Sounds like he is done with how she is, and is trying to cut the apron strings. Yes, he loves her, but says that being home is suffocating. I keep telling mom that at this rate, he won't even contact her as an adult in future. That is very true. Her is mothering him to the point of treating him like a baby, and if it continues even after he moves, then he might go no contact. Not a hole. What your mom is doing is creepy and inappropriate and is going to ruin his life. I'm not being dramatic. Someone needs to help your brother set some boundaries with your emotionally incestuous mother now, and it seems like you're up to the task. Not a hole. One of the roles of an older sibling is to protect the younger one. Sometimes you have to protect them from your parents. You can suggest if he wants to go out again, you'll be the chaperone. You can tell your parents you two are hanging out. Technically true, and just make sure you're not being followed. This should give him cover until he turns 18. He won't like it, but who's the better tag-along? You or mom? Unfortunately, you will have to return him to your parents. Yeah, they're playing this card. He is 17, so he has to go back home, but he is going to be 18 in 5 months. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for favoring one of my twin nephews over the other, despite both twins telling me to stop? My sister, 36, has 4 teenage kids, all boys. The youngest 2 are a pair of fraternal twins, Alex and Brian, now 14. My sister has been regularly sending the twins over to my place whenever she needed a break since I moved near her 2 years ago. I, 26 female, do not have kids myself, but I love having them over. I'm particularly fond of them as I grew up babysitting the 4 boys for loads of spare cash. The only issue is that Alex is clearly my sister's favorite child, and everyone is aware of those. To be fair, he is the stereotypical good kid. Extremely smart, good-looking, well-spoken, and charismatic. Everyone loves him. Brian is more quiet, meek, less blessed in the looks department, but not a bad kid at all. But I seriously think there's a cruel streak in Alex. I caught Alex daring Brian to drink pee when they were 9. In quotes, because Brian confessed that Alex threatened to cut him out of their friends group if he didn't do it. I've personally heard Alex's horrible comments about Brian's weight, looks, intelligence, etc. when he thinks I can't hear them. Brian has also shared that Alex has been vandalizing his belongings, spreading horrible rumors at school. My sister absolutely refuses to punish Alex, or send him to any sort of therapist/professional who can help. She says it's just boys being boys, and it is not my place to override her parenting decisions. So I've been trying to balance out the favoritism while they're at my house. I usually ask Brian for his preferences in minor things, like picking out the dinner that I cook for them, the movies that we watch together. If Alex makes snide remarks, I shut it down immediately. But the more I speak up for Brian, the angrier Alex gets. It has gotten to the point where Brian just defers to Alex's preferences, and is asking me to get off this so that Alex doesn't take it out on him when they get home. I get where Brian is coming from, but I can't just let this go. My sister doesn't do anything about it. So Reddit, Am I the a-hole for consciously treating my nephews differently and not stopping even though they both want me to stop? Your sister allowing Alex to treat Brian like this hurts both kids. It seems like none of Alex's actions ever have consequences. That doesn't bode well for adults. Your sister won't be able to boys will be boys away if/when he gets arrested. All that being said, it seems like at the end of the day, you are currently making Brian's life harder. He has asked you to stop. You should stop. Try to find other ways to help him. Definitely don't give up. But what you're doing right now isn't helping. Your heart is in the right place, so not the a-hole if you respect Brian's wishes here. But you'd be the a-hole if you don't stop. As of right now, it's everyone sucks here except for Brian since you haven't stopped. Just because Opie's heart is in the right place doesn't mean they are handling the situation the right way. The way you need to address favoritism isn't with more favoritism, it's to stop it at its source. Opie needs to start documenting all of Alex's anger issues and tormenting, and present them to her sister as a wake-up call. And if she still won't do anything about it, talk to authorities or people at Alex's school that will. By trying to fight favoritism with favoritism, Opie is only giving Alex more ammunition to use against Brian when the two of them aren't at Opie's house. Everyone sucks here, except Brian. Everyone sucks here except Brian. Your sister should be managing her children better. But she has 4 teenage boys. As someone who raised only 2 boys, I can feel her pain from here. Still, she wouldn't allow one child to torment another. Alex is a bully. He may grow out of it, he may not. But he's also only a kid and should have clear boundaries with proper consequences. And finally, you're the a-hole for continuing getting Brian tormented. And possibly worse now that you're showing him favoritism. You know this is causing problems for him. Brian has asked you to stop. That's as close as he'll ever get to reporting his brother. If you really want to show Brian that you care, stop trying to show Alex that you prefer his brother. If you insist on doing nice things for Brian, do it in private. Ask him what some of his favorite things are while Alex isn't around. Then buy it before they show up and announce how much you enjoy it and want to share with both of them. Yes, it's manipulative and deceitful, but when dealing with someone like Alex, that's the only option you have.